The National Association for Gun Rights and an Albuquerque resident are suing New Mexico's governor over an emergency order that bans firearms from being carried in public.
Do not comply!
New Mexico governor's gun ban heats up, but there is more at stake than this. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box. And if you like my channel, like my content, what I do here, you can support me with the link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. Let's talk about this now. Oh gosh, was it? I believe yesterday, I did a video on the New Mexico governor and her ban on the carrying of firearms, whether you use open carry, concealed carry for 30 days in response to crime. And it's kind of a strange thing to do because immediately you have to ask, well, wait a minute. Your answer to crime is to make an order that only people who don't commit crimes will follow. That doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't because it's not about anybody's safety. It's not about crime. It's once again her flexing her, quite honestly, unmitigated authority over the people. Because anyone with any iota of common sense and two brain cells to rub together knows that you cannot stop crime by telling good people what they can and cannot do. So don't think for a second that this is about the safety of the people there, because it's not. This is about her and basically using an emergency order to pass gun control, because that's what it is in the end. But some good things are coming out is because, as you heard in the opening there, a lawsuit has been filed against the law, against this order immediately, and the people went out literally within days to have a protest fully armed. You can see that right here.
Do not comply!
Tonight, protesters publicly carrying firearms, defying a 30-day ban by New Mexico's governor as Albuquerque reels from the shooting deaths of 2 children. Tonight, 2 gun groups joined by local residents filing lawsuits calling the order unconstitutional.
We have to stand up as Americans and say enough is enough. Stop going after inanimate objects and go after the real problem, the criminals.
And I guarantee you, not one shot was fired at that event. Not one. But what's interesting is the Bernalillo County Sheriff coming out and basically saying, I'm not going to enforce this. And I want to play that for you. Now, I want to play it. It's a 3-minute chunk, but the reason I picked out the chunk because it's contextual. I want to make sure you understand exactly what he's saying. And also, it's very important to notice, this is an example of a difference between a sheriff elected by the people and a police chief appointed by the leadership or the mayor. Let's watch this.
Once I read a short statement, I will answer some questions. As we all know, Governor Lujan Grisham issued an emergency temporarily suspending open and concealed carry laws for the next 30 days in Bernalillo County. Let me start by saying I'm holding this press conference and to answer many other people's questions, not only on social media, but directly to my phone. One, this is not grandstanding, nor is this to bring attention to myself. We must always remember, not only are we protecting the Second Amendment, but at the same time, we have a lot of violence within our community. Let me be clear. I hold my standards high, and I do not, or never will, hedge on what is right. And I take my oath seriously. In reference to concealed carry and open carry, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office will not enforce this segment of the order. While I understand the urgency, the temporary ban challenges the foundations of our Constitution, and most importantly, it is unconstitutional. My oath was to protect the Constitution, and that is what I will do. The governor made it clear in her press conference. She knew we as law enforcement did not agree with the order, and as a result, this was solely her decision. Other than this ban being unconstitutional, here are other reasons why I will not enforce the order. One, what many forget, is I have enough violence here in Bernalillo County. I do not want to have political violence towards my deputies or here in Bernalillo County. My job is to keep the peace, to make sure that the citizens of Bernalillo County are safe, and I do not believe that this order will help me do so. I'm a law enforcement professional. This order will not do anything to curb gun violence other than punish law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense.
Heard that and you saw that. Now, in the beginning, I said this is much broader than simply New Mexico and this one county where this governor is trying to push this on. If I'm going to come over here, I'm going to play this because this is Ron DeSantis. He was in Iowa, and he made a statement about what was happening there. And I just want to play that because it's right on point to what I'm trying to get to.
And everybody doing all that. So now we're back here in Iowa. We look forward to making the stops, going to the game today. I am very concerned about what I heard out of New Mexico, that the governor there is declaring a public health emergency with respect to firearms, and then unilaterally saying that you can't carry a firearm either concealed or open, even though the law allows that. That is not the way you wield authority. That is a violation of people's individual rights. But it goes back to this idea of using public health emergencies to kind of do whatever you want as a government official. And that's wrong. That started back in March of 2020 with COVID. Those policies they failed. They were destructive, but it's also not recognizing people's individual rights. And so we need a reckoning on that, not just for what happened with COVID, but the whole idea of kind of declaring emergency and using that to violate people's rights.
There's the reality. If she can get away with this, now it's just right now it's a state and a county that this is happening. Don't think for a second that this can't spread without any completely unchecked at any given time. Any governor in any state can declare an emergency of some kind or a public health issue of some kind and press this on the people and say, well, I'm going to make a unilateral violation of the Constitution because I feel so as an individual based on the fact that I think I have the authority to do so. Because trust me, other governors across the country are watching this in New Mexico and going, yeah, let's see how this plays out. Because that's pretty much what they do. When another state passes a law that's, controversial, questionable, the other states kind of take a step back, and like the states who would like to do things that they do, impede on people's freedoms and rights, but they take a step back and watch and go, okay, they're getting away with it. Let's do it too. But just realize, and once again, see the forest, not the trees. This is just another step in infringement on your individual rights under the Constitution. Connecticut jumping right in just days ago and telling us that, by the way, anytime you sell a gun, you must do it through an FFL. When the process to buy a gun or transfer a gun from person to person in Connecticut was, very thorough as far as I was concerned, because you had to do the same thing you would do technically, short of two pieces, two forms. You'd have to do the same thing anyway. You got to call the state. You got to get an authorization number. You got to distribute the DPS-3 form. So why do you have to go to an FFL if the FFL is going to do the same thing? Call the state, distribute the DPS-3 forms, and file this 4473 and 67C. Understand what's going on here. This is bigger than New Mexico and Albuquerque and the Bernalillo County. This is a full court press by the anti-gun establishment to undermine the Second Amendment simply by circumventing it. Hopefully, a federal judge is going to jump in here quickly and immediately say, no, you can't do this. But we will see. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.